Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. Conference tournaments are in full swing at the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. The 9th-seeded Hoosiers wiped out a big halftime deficit to beat the 8th-seeded Michigan Wolverines 74-69. Also this afternoon, the Iowa Hawkeyes, the 5th seed, wiped out 12th-seeded Northwestern 112-76. Maryland, Michigan State playing right now. Sparty has a 25-19 lead late in the first half. Later tonight, Penn State will take on Ohio State. Conference tournaments all across the lands. Here's the top 25 scores. Duke turned back Syracuse 88-79 in the ACC. Providence beat stubborn Butler 65-61 in a Big East tournament. TCU knocked off 22nd-ranked Texas at the Big 12 Championships in Kansas City 65-60. Stanford got a scare from the Cardinal, but they beat Stanford 84-80 in the Pac-12 tournament. The Jayhawks knock off West Virginia 87-63. Bob Huggins ejected from that game in the first half. Oklahoma Baylor about ready to get underway. Villanova St. John's in the Big East. UCLA Washington State in the Pac-12. Colorado State and Utah State in the Mountain West tournament. Later tonight in KC, Texas Tech and Iowa State will play. Last quarterfinal game in the Big East, UConn and Seton Hall. North Carolina and Virginia will also play later tonight. And to wrap up the day's college hoops, it'll be out west. USC will take on Washington. Major League Baseball and the Players Association has reached a tentative agreement on a new collective bargaining arrangement that will end a 99-day lockout and will salvage a full 162-game schedule. Spring training camps will open on Sunday. The Players' Championship, considered to be golf's 5th major, began today in Florida. The players dealt with a 4.5-hour rain delay, only half the field able to finish their rounds. Tommy Fleetwood and Tom Hoagie share the clubhouse lead at -6. Nebraska's soccer match scheduled for tomorrow versus the NWSL's KC Current has been canceled due to weather. The Huskers' next spring match set for April the 2nd against Iowa State at Hibner Stadium. That's the Ticker. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanneman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanneman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina.
At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off the Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes, bang, a bang, a bang-a-rang. Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to the program. We're going to talk a lot of things here tonight on a Thursday night sports Sunday after our night off last night. Husker basketball, boy, gave up a lead in the second half to Northwestern. Really thought they had that game in the bag, so their season came to an end tonight. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. We're also going to hear from the newest Husker quarterback, Casey Thompson. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really enjoyed getting to talk with him. I said before that got a chance to cover his brother at Oklahoma. So when his brother was there as a quarterback for 4 years, so got to know the family a little bit. And so it's a little deja vu, small world, but yeah, it was a great conversation. And man, it's hard not to be really excited about what he brings to the table and his leadership and just, you know, his focus and determination, and he believes his team is going to do some good things.
Really well spoken.
Very well spoken, yeah.
Looking forward to hearing that coming up a little bit later on in the hour. We're efforting a piece with Jeremiah Searles. He was at the Combine last week, and get his take on what he viewed in Indianapolis as those 4 Huskers were trying to make an impression on the folks who will be doing the drafting for the NFL teams coming up at the end of April. So looking forward to that conversation. And you heard a highlight from Billie Andrews in the Open. She's been off to a red-hot start for Husker softball. They are, in fact, right now they're flying out to Los Angeles. They've got a weekend group of games. In fact, they've got games even next week out there because it's spring break week next week for the university, so they're going to stay out there for a few days. We'll hear from Billie Andrews coming up in hour number 2. They have been slamming the ball, lots of home runs. It's been jumping off the bat.
They're hitting it well, and the statistics are crazy. I mean, leading the nation in home runs, but then as a team, Nebraska leads the Big Ten, and no one's even close. And we said it multiple times, but her and Sydney Gray have combined to hit more than well over half the teams in the Big Ten. So they're hitting it well, and hopefully they can keep it going and keep hitting it well. You'll hear her talk about this, but they've faced a lot of different teams, a lot of different pitchers, so really preparing themselves for a Big Ten season. And they're not coming back after this first series here this weekend. And so a good road trip to kind of fine-tune some things before they'll have Kansas at home. And then it'll be Big Ten play, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We're already there.
Ready to start that up. They'll be in the L.A. area for the weekend and then down to San Diego for a couple of days. That's a great place to go.
MJ Knighton's team. So
MJ Knighton, who's just been doing a great job. And keep an eye on that name, MJ Knighton, for future Husker reference. That could end up happening back here, I hope. Sometime.
She is a rising star, I think. Is. I mean, obviously I work with her sister, Shay Knighton, so again, kind of got to know the family a little bit, but she is so well respected within the softball community, even beyond just Nebraska and the Big Ten and where she is now. I mean, it is across college softball. She is a well respected. She's going to be a head coach at a major Power 5 at some point.
No doubt. All right, let's talk about last night. Man, terrific first half. The Huskers were the more energized team. Northwestern looked flat. And it would look like it was a continuation of the 3 games that we had seen Nebraska play with the victories over Penn State and Ohio State and Wisconsin. And even the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, which you always hear all the coaches say, those are the most important minutes of the game, is the first few minutes of the second half. And Nebraska held them off and kept the lead right where it was. And then something flipped. And I don't quite know what. But, boy, Nebraska went into one of those bad funks again for the next 5-6 minutes.
Northwestern got hot. They changed up their defense, and it just, But literally, that first half, you're like, okay, here we go. We're still on this roll. And, just could not. And then some tough foul trouble situations. But, we had heard Coach Hoiberg talk about Bryce McGowan's it was still a work in progress, and we still weren't sure if he was going to play, and you got to wonder if maybe that hindered a little bit. He just did not. He had a rough outing last night.
Did not look like himself, did he? And the Huskers had some I thought messy possessions late. Probably needed to get a call in there. They didn't. Alonzo continued to play really well, 21 points for him. Derek, I thought, played another outstanding game with his 16. So now that's it. That ends that season. And now it's going to be interesting, Jessica, the next week or so for Coach Hoiberg. And I know he has to have those exit interviews with all the players. There's decisions to be made by the likes of Trey and Derek about, do they want to come back and play another year here? Will there be a change on the staff or two? I kind of anticipate maybe a lot of that happening here in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and, I think with the NIL thing, I know it's been kind of the wild, wild west, and it's been a little bit crazy and not exactly what we expected. But this is the benefits of having NIL in place for guys like Trey McGowan's and Derek Walker that, maybe not an NBA type guy. You see what your future might look like as far as playing pro ball overseas, what that looks like. I mean, maybe you get an undrafted free agent. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Trey was projected. He was on some lists at the beginning of the season, but that injury really hurt. So you never know. But, with those NIL deals, you still have a chance to come back, maybe get yourself back on those conversations, still make some of that money. And so, it'd be interesting to see that if, what Bryce's decision might be. You got to think he's probably gone, but if there is a chance that maybe they go have some conversations, hey, let's run it back one more time together. You never know what those conversations are being had between, the family, but I do think potentially with NIL, you could see some players coming back that originally you thought, okay, they're probably ready to hang it up, and then the moves on the staff, I fully expect that because they made no bones about it that they weren't happy with the outcome of how the season went. So typically that means you do make some changes within that staff.
Coach Hoiberg was in here Monday, and one of the last questions we had for him from a listener was, please do everything you can to get Trey and Derek back. And he said, we'll do. We're going to do everything we can to talk to them about that. So those interviews and you need decisions from them too, because if they're going to leave, you got to get to the portal, or you got to go find somebody who hasn't signed somewhere and add numbers to your roster. So it's kind of a two-way street. You need to know from them. They need to know, too, what they want to do. You brought up a good point the other night, because with the NBA and the new rules that they have, as long as you don't secure an agent, you can go test the waters. You can go do the workouts. You can go have private workouts with teams and still decide to take your name out a month before the draft and come back. Maybe that happens with Bryce. Maybe I'm wishful thinking here, but I'd love to see Bryce McGowan's back for one more year here.
I love that rule. I love that rule that you can kind of go see have those conversations. I think one of the first shows we did, you had challenged to say, what would you change about the NCAA? And I want to see this rule implemented for the NFL guys and college football guys, because it gives you a chance. There are some guys that are being told certain things by agents, so you might make a decision without actually, going through the process and talking to some of these teams, these scouts, these experts. Hey, this is where you're kind of projected, and you're being told something else. And so I think getting that information that when you are not declared, when you haven't said, one way or another, because legally you can't declare and then find something out and then come back with football, but you can't do that with basketball. So I wish they would implement that rule with college football. But yeah, it's important, and you can really get the information that maybe you otherwise couldn't, and it's a rush type of situation, but this allows you to take some time, make some decision, you enter it, but then you can also come back. You mentioned kind of fill in some voids and some roles. I mean, how about the point guard spot? I mean, look at that. Happened a year ago.
Yep.
And then, Verge, at the end of the season, there weren't very many players much better than him down the stretch, but it took him so long to kind of get into that role. So you got to fill that point guard role as well.
You do. And I know they redshirted the McPherson kid, and he's a point guard, but that's probably asking a lot for him in his first year of college basketball to really lead the team. So do they go to the portal? There's going to be names in there. We know there'll be names in there. There'll be hundreds of names in there. So they'll be pouring over all of that as they make their way through. Your point is incredibly valid for the NFL and college football, because they have until like mid-January. They don't have very much time at all. If you plan a bowl game, you have about 2 weeks to figure out whether I'm going to go or stay, and that's a really quick decision to make.
You're going to hear Jeremiah talk about that, about how for guys that are in a bowl game, and it's just your bodies are beat up and you don't have a lot of time to even just recover before you have to start training for a track meet, and being a track athlete and running the 40 and doing the bench press and all that kind of stuff. So, he is saying that, some of these players that didn't play in the bowl game, it is beneficial for them. So, yeah, give them some time, let them evaluate it, and do it, maybe at the end of the season, maybe starting, I don't even know what the timetable would be, but you actually get to dive into that and see what your path might look like, and if it's not worth it for you, then you can come back and you're not penalized for it.
Yeah, that'd be a great blanket rule to put across all sports, if hopefully they can jump into that and look at that. So it'll be interesting in a couple weeks. We'll be following it. We have no plans to talk to the coach for a while. We usually leave the coaches alone after their season ends. They're so kind of done talking to media and our types for a while. So we'll probably leave Coach Hoiberg alone until there's some maybe major roster moves that happen. But it'll be busy, and he's not just going to go pick up his golf sticks and go to South Carolina and play golf for a week. He knows he has a lot of work to do with that program, and it probably starts with evaluating his own staff a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of what tweaks he could make, bringing in even just like within the personnel staff of it. I mean, You got to think he's probably looking at everything, every potential thing, and getting the roster figured out, because now you got to start maybe recruiting, looking at guys that in the NCAA tournament that might be looking to transfer, grad transfer, all of that, because you're going to have some key spots to fill one way or another that is going to be really, really important to knock it out of the park. And as we feel, you have to prove it on the football field, but what Scott Frost and company did in the portal, we feel at this point that they did a really good job of addressing a lot of those needs, and Coach Hoiberg will need to follow suit and do the same thing.
I remember Scott Frost telling me, we did our last TV show after the Iowa game, and he just said, I go, what's next? And he goes, well, I got to fix me. Then I have to look at our whole structure, and then we go from there. And I think Coach Hoiberg will do the same thing, that he's got to get himself right mentally. He's got to figure out where he is, where did he come up short, and he needs to do a self-diagnosis. and then look at the staff. Last year, after the season ended, Doc Sadler stepped down as a full-time assistant, kind of went to be more of an analyst, and that's what got Nate Lenzer here. And I think you probably need to look at everybody on the staff and say, all right, is that the best we can do, or can we upgrade if we move through? Coach Hoiberg also changed the strength coach after last season. And I think that, this team, as the season wore on, you could see that I think the strength and conditioning that group was pretty good because they played their best basketball late in the season when teams should be tired, but they played really well late in the year. So he did some of this last March. I think he'll do it again this March with this team. And you're right, as these teams start to fall out of tournament play, that's when those kids will start to make their decision about whether they want to stay or whether they want to get in the portal. So these names will add up in the next 20 days.
It's going to be exactly like we saw with football. It was like every day was a record-breaking day with the portal. It was just absolutely bonkers, bananas. So, once teams don't make the NCAA tournament, it will be just a domino effect. So we'll know on Selection Sunday some of these players probably, maybe Monday, Tuesday next week, some guys, you'll see some names probably in the portal. And then from there on out, with each team, they'll make some decisions. But with the actual year COVID eligibility, there are going to be several players that have the option, and it's going to be crazy to see. It's just going to keep going from sport to sport, and basketball is going to be one of those. I think there's going to be a crazy record-breaking portal as well.
Our Sports Sunday Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Phone lines are open for you. Text lines as well, 402-413-2400. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Sioux City and Scott. Good evening, Scott. Welcome to the program.
Hey, good evening, gang. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Those 3 games, they weren't given any of them. They took them.
Yep.
And the first game against Penn State, Penn State maybe laid down late in the game because they knew it was over. But the other 2 games, Nebraska took those. And in the first half against Northwestern, they took that. But in the second half, I don't think there's any way that they let those 3 games go to their head. But when we got that 10-second call, and I didn't see one explosive drive to the lane, it felt like that was it. But they've had a lot of shining times during this season, and they've shown what they're capable of. And I love the guys. Go Big Red.
All right, thank you, Scott. Appreciate the call. Yeah, that 10-second call did seem kind of to be a momentum shifter in the game, but you got to overcome those things. And I know they're disappointed. I know they had a great feeling in their gut when they hit that under 16 timeout in the second half, and they still had a 15, 14-point lead, whatever it was, 14 or 15 points at that point in time, to not finish off the Cats. And, Jessica, you're right. Northwestern started to heat up. They started to make shots. Boo-Booey was not very good early. He was better late. I just didn't like the possessions late in games. I thought Nebraska didn't really seem to have a plan. It was just drive the ball, bang into somebody, hope to get a call.
Kind of some of the frustrations that we had when they, during the stretch where they weren't winning games. And, they made note of it on the broadcast that there was one point where Bryce had it was a fast break and had number. C.J. Wilcher was open on the block, and Bryce took it up. Now, he did get slapped in the face, but, C.J. Wilcher, if you would have passed the ball, maybe you make a layup there, but Trey was over there, and then Trey picked up a quick foul, and Trey looked at Bryce and said, pass the ball. So, Trey got after Bryce a little bit on that, and I think probably that's a freshman in Bryce that was forcing it a little bit. I think a lot of those shots that maybe we were all frustrated with down the stretch was Bryce trying to get something going, because that was uncharacteristic for him, and he was trying to do too much and coming off the injury and just wasn't really himself, and probably just making some decisions that he had been better at as of late.
Hand was still a problem, don't you think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Doug in Norfolk on our text line said, are the only players on the team that are officially gone Webster and Verge? You can add Trevor Lakes into that. He's also done. So everybody else could come back and take the COVID year. So I guess we need to throw Lat's name in there, too, as a guy that could come back next season for this team. So, again, a lot to follow for us and all of you in the next 2 weeks, as a lot of those decisions will happen. I know they're going to have their exit meetings that they always have once the season is over. So I think there'll be plenty of Husker basketball news coming up in the next few weeks. 402-413-2400. Time to tell you to buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, Casey Thompson, the Husker quarterback transfer from Texas. He'll join us next.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Discover the all-new 2022 GMC Terrain with 3 distinct trim lines to choose from. There's a Terrain for any driver. Plus, safety and capability come standard in the Terrain lineup so you can conquer the road with confidence. Shop our indoor showroom or purchase online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Winquist comes set, the pitch. There goes the runner. Ground ball right side. Base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the 9th inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night. Glad you're with us here tonight. Taking a little break from some of the basketball. We got a lot of it going on in the studio here. Big 10, Big 12, ACC, all of it happening around the country right now. All right, yesterday, they made the quarterbacks finally available to the media, and you were able to lasso the young man from Texas.
I did. And again, kind of have known him for a while. And
did you like that, lasso?
Yeah, I did.
Texas?
I got it, yeah. I actually didn't get it. I didn't
Come
catch
on,
it
Andrew,
first.
wake up.
But yeah, no, just fascinating. Andrew was shooting the interview for me. I think his arms were getting tired because I could have kept asking him questions. He's just so great to talk to, and really has done a lot of research and has learned a lot about a place in a very short amount of time, and he loves it here. I mean, you're going to see on the interview if you're watching on the YouTube stream. I mean, he's just smiling every time he talks about this place. He's loving it here and kind of getting settled in. So, yeah, enjoyed getting to talk to Casey Thompson. All right, well, you settling in here in Lincoln yet?
Yeah, it's been great so far. Just getting used to the town and the people here, and most importantly, the team has been great.
You talked a lot about waiting and making sure that you made the right decision. And in this day and age, it can be a hurry-up kind of process and rushing and, pressure. What went into your patience to make the right decision and to select Nebraska?
Yeah, honestly, I took about, 2 to 3 weeks to make a decision, and I think I did it. I think I did it on the right terms and on my time. I think everything worked out how it was supposed to. But the coaching staffs at these different schools, they definitely want you to make a decision quick, and they're not really rushing you, but there has to be a sense of urgency. But what I liked about Nebraska was they never tried to force my hand or rush me. The coaching staff and even my family kind of just said, hey, this is your decision. We're ready when you want to make that commitment. And so Coach Frost and Mark Whipple, I think that they were kind of they played it really good about not being, too pushy, but just kind of letting me make the decision of, hey, if you want to be here, then come join us. But if you're not sure yet, then take your time. And honestly, my family was kind of pushing me to make a decision more than anyone else. But yeah, coaches can get kind of impatient. But I kind of just told everyone up front, hey, I'm going to take 2 to 3 weeks. I'm kind of enjoy the holidays and enjoy Christmas with my family. And then first or second week of January, I'll make a decision, and that's what I did.
When you came up here on your own, what did you feel walking around?
Honestly, it was 9 degrees. It was freezing cold. So the first thing I noticed, I was like, it's freezing cold here. But then what I did was I looked at the weather averages throughout the whole year, and I was like, it's pretty similar to what I'm used to. I grew up in Oklahoma, and you've lived there before too. So it's the Midwest, it's the Great Plains, and so you're gonna get hot days, you're gonna get cold days, you're gonna get wind, you're gonna get snow, and so I'm kind of used to it so far. But it's been great, and I would say the biggest thing that I enjoyed whenever I came to look around was the stadium, and just kind of looking around how this is a good college town, and I'm actually impressed with how much food options there are right around Lincoln and around campus as well.
That's awesome. You grew up, have a brother that played Division I college basketball or football at Oklahoma, and your dad. I mean, how important was it for you that you understood kind of the pressure and expectations that come with a program of playing at Nebraska?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, like you said, I grew up around OU football, and then I went and played at the University of Texas, and just being in those type of environments and being a part of these type of programs, I think that's kind of like why I wanted to play the game, was to be a part of this type of college football atmosphere and environment. I really enjoy the fan base, and I just enjoy how everything is magnified. You never want to feel like that you're going out there and no one's watching or no one's appreciative, and so you'll never have that problem here at Nebraska. There's been 392 sellouts, and so the fan base and the support here, honestly, besides the coaching staff and the opportunity, that's probably the biggest reason of why I chose Nebraska, was just because we have that big-time football, feel.
I think a lot of people want to talk about your dad and his relationship and his familiarity with Nebraska, but what role did your brother play in you becoming the athlete that you became?
My dad kind of guided me. Honestly, like I started playing football when I was 4 years old, and so I chose to play football, and my parents kind of told me, you need to wait till you're a little bit older, but I was 4 years old. I wanted to start playing with 7-year-olds, and then my older brother, Kendall Thompson, he is, like 6.5, 7 years older than me, and so he was like 12 years old back then, and I would always train with him, and so honestly, like we're like best friends to this day, and we've always been really close, and he's been like a mentor and a role model for me, but he just always pushed me to work out with him and do tackling drills even in the backyard whenever we were kids and stuff. And I talk to him almost every day. He's been a light for me and a huge guidance and support.
I've seen you a few times throwing balls with receivers down there by yourself, just you and a couple guys, you and one other guy. What went into the process of getting guys to go run routes and throw balls to them and develop that kind of relationship right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I got here, I kind of just the first few days, I didn't know anyone, and so I kind of felt like I needed to get to know the guys first, and so I wanted to introduce myself. But as soon as I met the offensive line and the running backs and the tight ends and receivers, I kind of just told the offense like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm used to, and this is what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm not going to force you to come out here, but I'm just going to let you know I'm going to be out here working every day, and you're welcome to join. And the guys who I knew that would be playing, like you said, the first and second team receivers, I pretty much got them right away and said, hey, let's run routes, let's do extra film meetings together, let's do install meetings and kind of go over the plays. And so I'm still working on that, and I do that almost every day. I think the off season and the winter time is a big opportunity to get ahead and kind of do extra work. And so honestly, I told the whole team, if you're not taking care of your body or doing extra film work or extra field, stuff on the field to become a better football player, then, why are you here? This is Nebraska football. Get your schoolwork done and then make sure you do things right off the field. But, I mean, we have to do a little bit extra if we want to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And so I kind of had a players-only team meeting, and I told everyone, like, this is the standard. This is the kind of the level I'm going to hold everybody to, and, kind of that's what my plan was.
That's awesome. What's spring practice has been like so far up until this point?
Spring ball has been fun. I think it's just good to get out there and play football again. Just go out there and compete and kind of see guys flying around and, hear the pads hitting each other and, just being able to go against a real defense and not throw routes on air and not do plays on air. But you also get to learn about, the players and the team, about, everyone's strengths and their weaknesses, and I think it's been fun. Honestly, we have a little trash talk going on with the defense every day, and I think it's been really fun to see the offense grow. I really like where we're at right now on the offensive side, and I think that we're doing a great job of learning the new system and building that continuity within the offense and the wide receivers.
I know you did your research and you looked into some of your teammates, especially the wide receivers. What did you learn about some of the guys that you'd be throwing the ball to and the potential to make plays with those guys before you even got on the field with them?
Before I even got here, I watched film on the receivers that played the last few seasons, and last year what I saw that Omar Manning is a good player, and I saw Xavier Betts, and I was like, who's number 15? He's really fast. And then I saw Oliver Martin, 89, and I saw Wyatt in the game, and then I looked at the tight ends and was like, there's some good tight ends. You got Travis Vokalek and Thomas Fedoni and Austin Allen, who obviously left. I would have loved to have him back. And then looking at the running back room, those guys as well. I think Gabe is a really good player, and Jaquez, and I don't know. I thought that they have a lot of athleticism, and I think that we have a lot of talent at the wide receiver room. What I liked most is that we have depth. I'm not used to that, honestly. Last year at Texas, I only had Xavier Worthy and Jordan Whittington and Joshua Moore and kind of Marcus Washington. I really only had like four or five guys who could roll, but here at Nebraska, you have 6, 7 deep on scholarship, and then you have the walk-on program, which is great. And so I think that it's really good that we get to have a lot of numbers and just kind of compete at a high level.
Last thing I got for you, I mean, you're midway through spring ball, you got spring break, and then you have a few more practices, and then the spring game. What's the goal? What do you guys need to accomplish as an offense before you close a chapter on spring ball?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, what we're looking forward to today was a big red zone and kind of that high red zone, low red zone focused. And every day we've kind of been emphasizing new things. And honestly, on Friday, I think it'll be a really important practice for us, kind of a scrimmage day against the defense, to see where we're at and see what we need to work on. But overall, I think that we're doing a great job. I think that the effort is there. I think the intensity that we have is at a high level. But honestly, I think that we just need to fine-tune the small details and work on executing the offense a little bit better and not having as much mental errors. And so I think that we need to do a little bit more preparation in the film room and maybe pay attention to details more in meetings. But I think that the effort and the athleticism and the competition right now on the field is at a high level. I just think we need to probably work on tuning up the details a little bit.
I said last thing, but I promise this is the last thing. How do you like the offense?
I love it so far. The run game is great because we have a lot of motions and just a lot of different run-pass options. Coach Frost is really good with running that type of offense, and then our passing game is as good as I've been around. We have NFL passing schemes, and we have ways to attack the field vertically and both horizontally, and we also can play fast. And so I think the biggest thing that people are going to see this year is that we'll play more at a fast pace, and we'll be high tempo, and that we'll be able to spread the ball all around the field. I mean, we'll probably get like 5 or 6 receivers the ball on any given day. And I think that and what I like about the offense is that anybody can have a breakout moment at wide receiver at any point. And so I enjoy it so far, and it's been fun, and it's been very aggressive and kind of attack mindset.
Pretty impressive, right? And get you pretty excited about this.
Let's go, as Jeremiah likes to say. Yeah, you're right. He's done his research, done his homework.
I mean, I knew that he did, and not just on the wide receivers, but just the big things about Nebraska. I mean, he really has done a lot of homework, and he is a grinder, and he studies, and he gets his butt in here, and he was looking at film, and he throws to whoever will come up here and catch passes from him. And I mean, it's impressive, and I think he's already establishing himself as a leader, which this team needed.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a void, particularly with Adrian's departure. There was a void there, and he's stepping right in. It seems seamless to me right now. That's great.
Does. It really does. And, I mean, he just is smiling all the time. Yesterday after we were done, he was going to go give Coach Whipple a hard time. He was still talking in his press conference. He's like, he's still talking? And I said, oh, yeah, he puts on a show when Coach Whipple gets up there. And so, he just seems to be really enjoying being at Nebraska, and he just loves the fan support. And, it just – I got to imagine that when he signed on to play at Texas, it was a different coaching staff, and it had to be a little bit, frustrating at times because it's not the staff, the offense that you had signed up to play, but then, knowing the what he's getting into here, and that he's excited about it, and I think there's no doubt about it. You could tell the way he talks about it.
Coach Whipple doesn't wear shoes, I guess, when he talks to the media. He didn't have any shoes on.
I didn't even go over there.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, sitting there and just socks on.
That's awesome.
All right, our Sports Signing Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. And Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Our phone lines are open for you. 402-413-2400. What do you think? What do you think hearing from the Husker quarterback for the first time? Love to get your take on that. We'll do that next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, The game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Winquist comes set, the pitch. There goes the runner. Ground ball right side. Base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the 9th inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Make it custom, make it yours. Right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Blair, you can get up to $2,500 off MSRP when you place a custom 2022 Ram 2500 or 3500 order during Ram Truck Month. Get $1,000 off MSRP when you custom order. Plus, with a qualifying trade-in, get an additional $1,000 off. Business owners get an additional $500 off. Shop Ram Truck Month online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, they're even longer term than your sister's piano recital at church that time you drank a whole big cup of soda right before you left home and insisted to your mom that you didn't have to use the bathroom. We're talking that long-term.
Hi, it's Boyd Minry from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, it's the Midwest Premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night. Great interview Jessica just had with Casey Thompson. John in Omaha on our text line said Casey is very impressive. He walks the fine line between confidence and reality. I don't think anything is going to catch this guy by surprise. Already sounds like a natural leader.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been through it, right? I mean, he's already been a starting quarterback. He's been through a lot of he had to battle for the starting job and then answer the questions of a team that, you know, from a fan base in Texas that wasn't happy with the outcome of what the team ended up doing last year. But then also he watched his dad, who was a Division I quarterback, and his brother was a Division I quarterback. And so he's just learned a lot. He's grown up in this spotlight. So he understands about being a leader and, you know, handling this kind of pressure and the spotlight. And he's just so appreciative of the opportunity here, and he's excited about it. He's excited about the weapons, obviously. I loved hearing him talk about, you know, just what the offense is like. And he talked about Scott Frost and the run game, but then also Whipple and the pass game, and that it's the best he's been a part of. And that's a guy that's been around a lot of offenses. So the fact that he likes it and is a big part of it, too.
They have a scrimmage tomorrow. We do not get any media availability tomorrow. Then it's spring break, and they're gone for a week. So the next time we'll be able to talk to some coaches is not for about 10 days. So we'll push back and get away from the other thing, too. He's been at Texas. He was around Oklahoma football, places where football is really important, and the spotlight is very, very bright. Same thing here. So I don't think it's going to frighten him or scare him off.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying is that he grew up in this. He understands it. He's been in it. He watched it his entire life, and, you know, it's just he has got a good head on his shoulders of how to handle all of it. And so, yeah, I mean, he's smart with how he says things, but he also doesn't. It's not like it's canned answers either. Which what I appreciated too is that he tells you how he feels, but it's also how he answers it is really smart as well. So yeah, good head on his shoulders and doing all the right things, and can't wait to see it on the field as well.
Crypto wants to know if the red-white game is sold out. Not yet. They're approaching 40,000 with about a month to go, and now that the weather's going to start warming up, I think people will start thinking more about that. And I've always been of the theory that people wait and see the 10-day forecast. And if it looks pretty good, they're going, oh, I'll go. If it looks bad, may not go. But athletics very happy, right? Near 40,000. It was still a month out, and now practices are going. We're talking more football here on Sports Island. People are talking more about it on all the shows that folks listen to throughout the day. So very happy with that. I would guess we'll be somewhere in the 60,000 range when they kick that thing off in a month. How about that? 1 month away for that game.
I feel like we just started spring ball, and we just we're getting into conference play for basketball, and here we are. This time of the year just flies by.
Just goes so fast. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Went long in the last segment. Need to get to another break. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide. One game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. You never know what lies ahead, so trust the powerful and innovative features of the 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Its powerful engines and bold presence give you superior capability to handle what life throws your way. Advanced technology and safety features come standard to help you keep in command while on the road. Purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. Final few minutes of hour one of our Thursday night Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. We heard from Casey Thompson. Next hour, we're going to hear from Jeremiah Searles, who was in Indianapolis last week. Not for the women's tournament, but he was there for the NFL Combine that took place, and we'll get his thoughts about what he observed for those couple of days, big days for the NFL. Big day for Major League Baseball, people who love baseball, because the lockout is over. The Major League Baseball and the Players Association have reached an agreement. Spring training, the players are to report on Sunday. We might have games in Arizona and Phoenix, or Arizona and Florida late next week, and they say they will get all 162 games in. So there you go. Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. You'll have baseball all summer long. That sport would have really hurt themselves if they didn't get something figured out and took a year off.
Yeah, it kind of got messy there for a while too. I mean, on social media, it was the players talking about the teams of the leagues and the commissioner, and then vice versa. And it's like I didn't know if they were ever going to get something done.
Bad. It was really long, But hopefully this will take care of it. I think it's a 5 or 10-year agreement, so we shouldn't have to worry about a labor strike again in baseball for some time. Husker baseball last night kicked it around, did not play very good at Manhattan, lost 6-4 to the Wildcats. It's going to get busy for Will Bolt's team. They're not going to play Long Beach, which is on your schedule this weekend. Going to be way too cold tomorrow. Long Beach opted not to take their flights into Lincoln to play a game just maybe on Sunday. But Sunday there will be baseball up in Omaha at UNO's ballpark. Nebraska and UNO will play Sunday, and then the home opener will be at Haymarket Park at 1 o'clock on Monday. Then Tuesday night, New Mexico State's here. Wednesday afternoon, New Mexico State's here. So you're going to have 4 straight days of Husker baseball starting on a Sunday. The Husker women, the softball team, is on their flight right now going to L.A. They're going to be out in the L.A. area. They'll play Sacramento State tomorrow at around 2 o'clock. I'm sure the weather's pretty good in California right now. It usually is.
Yeah, I'd hope so, and hopefully they can bring it back with them here.
Yeah, I think so. I think tomorrow's the last really cold day we're going to have. At least I hope so. All right, 1 hour in the books. That was fun. Great to hear from Casey Thompson. Hope you all enjoyed that. Really impressive young man. So, and he's going to be so easy to root for Husker fans as the quarterback. Not that I'm anointing him the starter. The coaches have said he is the starter for this team. So that could certainly change. 1 hour down. Jeremiah coming up on the other side. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Keep yourself and your loved ones healthy by getting your free COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, when you get a COVID-19 vaccine at your Hy-Vee pharmacy between February 1st and April 30th, you can get a 50-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver reward. Talk about savings. Schedule your COVID-19 vaccination appointment today at Hy-Vee.com/COVID vaccine. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for more details.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. Conference tournaments are in full swing at the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. The 9th-seeded Hoosiers wiped out a big halftime deficit to come back to beat 8th-seeded Michigan 74-69. Also this afternoon, the 5th-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes blasted Northwestern 112-76. Right now, Michigan State leads Maryland 59-46 with about 9 minutes to go in the second half. Later tonight, it's Penn State against Ohio State. Checking the top 25 scoreboard. Third-ranked Baylor leads Oklahoma at the half in Kansas City, 33-27. St. John's upending Villanova at the halftime in the Big East, 30-23. Duke a winner over Syracuse, 88-79. Providence turned back Butler, 65-61 in the Big East. TCU upended 22nd-ranked Texas, 65-60. Arizona avoided an upset from Stanford. They beat the Cardinal 84-80. KU a winner over West Virginia 87-63. Later tonight, UCLA and Washington State in the Pac-12. Also, it'll be USC and Washington in the Pac-12. Virginia, North Carolina will tip it off at 8:30 in the ACC. UConn and Seton Hall will wrap up the day at Madison Square Garden for the Big East. And Texas Tech, Iowa State will finish off the Big 12's tournament quarterfinals. Major League Baseball and the Players Association has reached an agreement on a new collective bargaining arrangement that will end a 99-day lockout. It will also salvage a 162-game schedule. The league has agreed to expanded playoffs, designated hitter now in the National League, and full 9-inning doubleheader games. That goes away from the COVID policy of 7-inning doubleheaders. Spring training camps set to open on Sunday. The Players' Championship, considered to be golf's 5th major, began today in Florida. The Players dealt with a 4.5-hour rain delay. Only half the field finished their first rounds. Tommy Fleetwood, Tom Hoagie share the clubhouse lead at -6. Nebraska's soccer match scheduled for tomorrow against the NWSL's Casey Current. It's been canceled due to weather. The Huskers' next spring match set for April the 2nd against Iowa State at Hibner Stadium. That's the ticker. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Andrews swings and crushes it to left, and that is gone. A towering home run for Billy Andrews.
No balls, 2 strikes. Shanaman's pitch popped up on the infield. Core Jackson calling for it, drifting into the outfield grass. Now racing over near the line, makes the catch. And Shea Shanaman has the first complete game shutout for a Husker pitcher since Jake Myers threw a gem against Western Carolina.
At top, Sam Hybe. Deep right side. Jazz Shelley for the record. You betcha! You betcha! Jazz Shelley has tied her career high with her 32nd point and has the Nebraska record.
Gives it off the Verge. Verge on the right side of the floor in the midcourt. Behind the screen of Walker. Shoots the 3. Got it! Holy smokes! Bang! A ring! As the Huskers take the lead against Wisconsin on the road at 72-71. And the shot at the buzzer on the way. It's no good! And the Huskers, holy smokes! Bang! A bang! A bang-a-rang! Win on the road over the regular season champion Wisconsin Badgers. 3 straight road wins to finish the year.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of our Thursday night show here on Sports Nightly. Got a big hour coming up. Big fella coming up, too. Jeremiah Searle's going to join us here in a little bit.
Dude,
how about
you brought
that?
Your A game today.
I did. Lasso, big fella, it's all right
You
there.
got all the puns coming in.
I've had all day to think about these things. And a lot of bus rides to write these things down. So Jeremiah's going to come talk about the Combine, what he witnessed there in Indianapolis last week. We'll have that conversation for you. And we'll talk some Husker softball. They are on their way right now to L.A. They got a big week. They're going to play in Los Angeles over the weekend, down to San Diego next week. It's spring break, so they can have an extended road trip. And Rhonda Ravel's team is hitting the baseball. Billy Andrews, who's been terrific the first month of the season, going to join Jessica for that chat as well. And it's always fun to see the big fella, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, I saw him in Indy last week, so you're the one that hasn't seen him.
Yeah, he's avoiding me.
I guess, but I told you he's like decked out in a suit because he's in agent mode, and so that's where we kind of started. What was it like to be at the Combine? He didn't go as a player, but what was it like to be at the Combine and kind of be in that role, which was different from him kind of being around all these settings just as a football player?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it is, first of all, you're kind of selling your players that you have, right? You're talking about concerns that you've heard from other teams and kind of alleviating those concerns via your football knowledge and working with the guys. But a big piece of it was just kind of reintroducing myself as Jeremiah Searles, the agent, instead of Jeremiah Searles, the player. A lot of these guys meeting with former GMs and cap guys and pro personnel directors, they all were like, oh yeah, I've done reports on you. Like, I know who you were from playing, but like meeting those in this business is so much about connections and so much about networks, and when guys call you, being able to put a face with a name is so important. And so that was a big piece of it. But I mean, majority of it was just fun to be back around football. I mean, first of all, it's like kind of my last big thing before COVID was the 2020 Combine, and then the world shut down, and then to be back kind of feeling of normalcy while we were there. The NFL announced that they were dropping all COVID protocols. And so it just felt back to meeting, and mask mandate wasn't a thing there. And so everything just felt kind of normal for the first time in a few years for me. And that was equally as fun as much as just being back around the game.
Take us through what the process is like for these guys running, prepping to try to run the fastest 40 or bench press a bunch of times. What is the process like getting yourself prepared for this process?
Yeah, so for a lot of these guys, we'll just stick with the Nebraska guys. They, in a way, I know this is going to sound bad, but they were lucky in the fact they didn't have a combine, so they were actually or a bowl game, excuse me. So they were actually able to kind of get a leg up on the training. But so many of these guys and some of my clients played all the way up until the 31st of December, and it literally was you played your bowl game, got home for a day, and you either got in your car or you got in a plane and you drove to whatever training facility you're going to. We had Austin down in a place in Florida. I had a lot of guys up in Minneapolis, a guy in Denver, like just kind of all over the place. But you literally just go there, and the way I describe it to people is it's Bill Murray's Groundhog's Day. I mean, it is wake up, train, eat, train, sleep, recover over and over and over again to prepare yourself for these tests. I mean, it's a job interview, right? I mean, it's a 8-week program to get yourself ready to go and perform at your best ability. And I do think it gets a little overhyped by the world of the ESPNs and making it prime time, and it's kind of turned into more of a spectacle than it has in the past, but it's really important. And I think sports performance and I think sports nutrition has changed so much over the last few years that's why you're seeing guys run faster and faster and faster year in and year out. I mean, this was the fastest combine by far. I mean, you're talking multiple guys in the 4.2s, you're talking 12 offensive linemen in sub-5 40s, and you're talking 340-pound defensive linemen running 4.78s, and just insane things. But those are all a combination of, I think people are getting freakier, and I do think that the training in the world of sports performance and sports nutrition is getting so much better that you might have a guy that's a 4.38 speed guy, but you can get him into the 4.2s with the training. And it's just a very regimented process of getting ready to go. And now that the combine's over, you now have to flip from being a track athlete to going back to being a football player. And that's a hard transition for some, but that's just part of the business and part of the interview process.
So you're telling me you didn't run a 4.91?
Absolutely not. I ran a 5.32 and I was ecstatic.
Okay, so let's start with Austin Allen. He was first. He's your guy. Break down overall his performance at the combine.
Yeah, so I mean, he ran a 4.82. I was hoping he'd get maybe in the 4.7s, but again, that's not a huge. It's not like he ran a 4.9 and you wanted him to get in the 4.7s. I mean, he ran a 4.82, which is a great time for. He was the tallest tight end there, and arguably one of the biggest too, at 255 pounds. So his 40 was what it was, but I know it's not everyone's favorite things to look at, but it's something NFL teams look at very much. Is his agility drills were off the charts. Teams want to know, can he bend and get out of breaks? Can he bend and block guys, right? Can he bend at the hips? And those agility drills, so the L drill and the pro agility and his broad and vert are really important to that. I mean, he jumped a 34-inch vertical, which is incredible for him. He had a 10-1 broad jump, which was up there with the tops. He had a 7 flat L drill, which, to put in perspective, was the #1 tight end time ran there, and it was the #3 overall time between wide receivers and tight ends there. So, I mean, that's incredible agility. And then he ran a 4.21 pro agility, which was #2 by all the tight ends. So his agility drills were off the charts, and we had multiple scouts that came up to us the next day that were like, never let Austin Allen run an L drill ever again, right? Like, there's no reason for him to ever do that. And so he absolutely crushed that. His hands looked extremely natural, and he really moved the needle for himself, I do believe, for solidifying that I'm a big tight end, I'm a big body, but I can also move.
Let's talk Cam Jurgens. Immediately, people making note that he put on a lot of weight. What was your initial reaction when you first saw him?
When I saw him, I was like, 303. Okay, Cam, like you got some weight up. Like I wonder if that's going to affect your speed at all. And then he goes out there and runs a 4.92, and I was like, nope, still the same fast Cam Jurgens that we all know and love. And he was for sure going to be one of the buzz of the combines. We knew he was going to test well. Surprisingly, he only ran the 40 and only benched. He didn't do any other tests, which isn't abnormal. Some trainers have guys do that. I'm not 100% sure why, but he decided not to, so I'm sure he'll do all the rest of that stuff at Pro Day. But again, not surprised that old beefy jerky there ran a 4.92.
I'll never forget at Michigan State when he chased down
the interception.
You looked at me and you said, Cam Jurgens just ran that dude down.
Yeah, that was one more like that, and then the Oklahoma screen where he's out in front of everyone 40 yards down the field. I mean, that's the thing that scouts loved about Cam Jurgens is it showed up on tape, and then it equivalated over to the 42, right? You always see some of these guys like the Baylor kid, for example, ran the 4.29 or whatever. A stiff breeze blows that kid over. So, like, it doesn't translate very well to the field. Cam's agility and Cam's speed translates so well from the track to the field, which is what teams love about him.
4.38 for Cam Taylor-Britt. What was your reaction when you saw that number?
I didn't believe it at first. I was like, that can't be the Cam Taylor-Britt I know and love. Like, I did not anticipate. I anticipated him running 4.5. Really, I did. So, I mean, testament to him and wherever he went and trained, and really it looked like he got his body right. But what I love, too, is he was very fluid in the drills. I mean, watching his drills and the way he flipped his hips and high-pointed the football, and he just looks seamlessly. Some of those DBs, you can see why they're DBs. Their hands were just atrocious. But Cam just looked extremely natural. And, again, it's a fairly deep DB class. There's some guys on there that can run and are big. But I think Cam Sledfeld, he's just up there with the best of them, too. And he had good Senior Bowls. He's checked all the boxes along the path that he needed to check to solidify himself as a draft pick. Now the question is, how high does he go?
Why is the 40 time and seeing a 4.38, why do people just lose their minds over that?
Because ESPN hypes it up to be the coolest thing of all time. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, you talk to scouts and you talk to NFL personnel. Do they judge the 40? Yeah, it's a piece of a much larger puzzle. Right? You're trying, when you're putting a profile together for these guys, draft, don't draft, first round, seventh round, free agent, you're putting a giant puzzle together, and the 40 time is just a piece of that puzzle. Now, the size of that piece varies from obviously position to position, right? A 40 time for an O-lineman is a much smaller piece of the puzzle than a 40 time for a corner or a DB when it's more equivalent to what they do on the field, right? Versus like the bench press. A DB is not going to bend. If a DB benches 10, it's like, oh, yay, cool. But, like, if an O-lineman benches 10, huge red flag, right? Like, so there's varying to the testing of what it does, of what it brings to the piece of the puzzle for these guys. So Cam running a 4.38 is a big piece of the puzzle because corners need make-up speed when you got receivers running 4.27s. And so that's a huge piece for him, but it is turned into a spectacle that you can just focus and hyper-focus on and blow up from the primetime stage of it. But I'll tell you this, from the NFL world, it's not as big a deal as people make it.
All right, last one. Let's talk about JoJo. What did you take away from his performance?
I thought he ran a little slower than I wanted him to. You know, JoJo again, though, but what is he? You know, we talk about Cam Jurgens being a scheme fit guy. JoJo is just as much a scheme fit guy. I think JoJo's a guy that's like, a team could draft him and say, hey, we want you to lose 15 pounds and go play that hybrid nickel safety linebacker guy. Or you could say, hey, he ran a 4.6 as a will linebacker, a bigger will linebacker. Great, that's a good spot for him in our scheme. I do think that he looked good in drills. We all know his football IQ is through the roof. Guys I've talked to know his football IQ is great in the league. He's adaptable, but really, again, he's a productive player. He's all over the field running sideline to sideline. I don't think the combine hurt him as much as some of the talking heads want to say that it did. But I do think, again, I would have liked to see him maybe get in that 4.5 range. So I'd assume that he's probably going to run in Pro Day again, too, his 40, because I know I just got done talking about that doesn't matter, but it was a fast linebacker group. And if you're a tweener guy of safety, hybrid, nickel linebacker, you kind of have to run a bit faster than that for a team's vision to really fit for what they want you to be.
JoJo is about fit, though, right? I mean, when you're talking about, he doesn't just fit anywhere. Kind of like what you're talking about Cam.
Yeah, I mean, what is he? What is he, a linebacker? Is he, I mean, you go to a team like for the Rams, for example, they play one linebacker. One singular linebacker, always. And then they bring in these kind of nickel or dime guys to come in that can cover the pass with the RPO systems. He'd be a great fit for that one linebacker that they have. Now you go to the New England, and they still have the 255, 6'2" Mike linebacker that's just going to run downhill and thump you in the A-gap. No, that's not a JoJo Domann fit, right? It's all about vision and fit, and all you need is one team to fall in love with you or one team to get afraid that another team's in love with you before them and pull the trigger on the draft.
This process is a grind, right? At this point, I mean, how much are you like, okay, let's get to the draft already?
Oh, yeah. Once the combine's over and pro day's over, you get to focus on being a ball player again. And you got about 6 weeks there to get yourself back in shape. I mean, none of these guys are in shape. You don't condition to run the 40, but you need to be in elite shape to show up to rookie minicamp so that you're not falling out or you can take every single rep. And then rookie minicamp leads into veteran minicamp to training camp and all the above. And once you get past this, it's one of those like, okay, congrats, you did the underwear Olympics. Now you're never going to do it again. Time to move on. And as a rookie, you're just ready for a change of pace, especially with these guys that have been away from home for so long, right? They're ready to kind of get back to their normal, back to their schools. Everyone kind of heads back to where they played because, A, you're just ready, and B, you have to be around your school if a team wants to come work you out. So, I mean, any team could call and say, Austin, I want to come work you out on an individual basis, but the rule is it has to be at your university. So it's good to just be back home, back around, and kind of get everything back going and back to being a ball player.
And I did ask him about Austin Allen maybe running the 40 again. He said probably so, but it's still some conversations that they're going to talk about. And so, but still, there's a lot of guys that didn't compete at the combine. That there's a number of guys that will be here that will need to perform well. And so, yeah, and Jeremiah will be here, Greg, so you'll get to see him then. You'll have to give him a hard time.
Good. I would imagine like Damian Daniels, Ben Stilley probably will test that day here. And there are probably some of the ones I'm not thinking of right now, but good.
I wonder if Cam Jurgens will run again.
I don't know why he would. His time was really good. And then maybe he wants to do something else, the cone drill or one of the other ones. But it'd be interesting. I'm rooting for all of them. I hope they all have good success. That was great to hear from Jeremiah. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little Husker softball. Time to tell you, though, to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Billy Andrews, the Husker softball team, next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Winquist comes set, the pitch, there goes the runner, ground ball right side, base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the ninth inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Here is a before-winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple-pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Is your business's data cabling outdated? Do you need help with fiber optic cabling projects? Give Kidwell a call. Kidwell doesn't just help you handle today's demands, they help you see beyond, making sure that every component works in unison to meet the demands of your growing business. Kidwell keeps your connections clearly labeled and organized, maximizes performance, and saves time when any maintenance or service is needed. Don't settle for patchwork quick fixes. Make Kidwell your technology partner. Visit KidwellInc.com. That's KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, very excited to be joined by not only the Huskers home run leader, not just the Big Ten leader, but leads the entire nation in home runs a month into the season, Billy Andrews from Nebraska Softball. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You guys are back home opened up the season at home, first time in front of Husker fans. How was that last weekend?
Just super exciting to come back home and see the fans like in the stands, and we played really well this weekend, so it was just super good to be back in Nebraska.
What a tear you've been on. I mean, 12 home runs, leads the country. You've hit one in 5 out of 6 games, I think, right? What's been working for you at the plate to start the season?
Honestly, I think it's just seeing the ball and like picking pitches that I know that I can hit, and just like committing to that and just going in with an aggressive mindset.
Do you realize kind of when you're hitting a bunch of home runs, and I mean, is it something that you are thinking about, or is it just you're just taking it, trying to approach every at bat the same?
Yeah, just going in and approaching it the same every at bat. I think when I go into it thinking, oh my God, like let's hit a home run, it usually doesn't turn out that way. So just taking it at bat to at bat and just doing the best that I can within each at bat.
You had an incredible freshman season, and a lot of people say should have been Big Ten Freshman of the Year. When you have a season like that as a freshman, how do you manage expectations going into your season as a sophomore?
I think it's just like building off of last season and just keep getting better and like proving to people that it wasn't just like a 1-year thing, just like I can keep getting better each season and just like going out and playing my best game.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's not just you that's hitting home runs. It's your entire team.
Yeah.
Right? You guys lead the Big Ten as a team in home runs. You and Sydney Gray out-hit like 10 of the 14 teams in the Big Ten. What's been the approach for the team? I mean, we talked about yours, but what's been working for this team offensively?
I think lately it's been like knowing the pitchers that we're going up against and like knowing our plan of what we're looking for and just like going in, like I said, with the aggressive mindset. And I think us, like, we are better as a team when we're on the attack. So I think just going in with that attacking mindset. And it's pulled off so far.
Yeah, absolutely. For someone like you that is putting up the numbers you're putting up, how nice is it to have protection, in front of you and behind you, and players like Sydney Gray that can also hit really well?
Yeah, I think like our whole lineup, like as a whole, I think 1 through 9, and then like a couple other girls who can come into the lineup, we are super effective. And 1 through 9, I think we're all like hard to pitch against, and it's not like any part of our lineup is an easy part, like easy outs. No, like I think we are super like on it, and we're a hard team to pitch to.
Visiting with Nebraska softball's Billy Andrews, what's it been like having Sydney Gray get back out there? I know, you guys came in together, right, and pretty close, and for her to have the injury and to come back, I know Coach Ravel said she's been a huge lift to the team once she got back out on the field. Yeah, I think last year when Sid got hurt, it was a little bit of a transition, but like having her there, like she stuck with us the whole rest of the season, was at every game, and I think just having her there kind of like last year kind of boosted like our confidence in her for this year, and like having her come back, it's like there really wasn't much of a switch from her last year when she played, and then this year I think she just got back into it really quickly, and she's a great team player and just a great teammate, and it's good to have her back. So we're probably halfway through this interview, and we're just now going to talk about defense, which I know you love as well. Yeah. How did you get into shortstop, and how do you balance being, the team's leading hitter, but then also having to be so good defensively? I think, I started playing shortstop when I was like super young. Like right when I got into it, I was like, oh, like shortstop, second base, like maybe that'll be fun. And I think when I was like 10, I kind of just stuck with shortstop and just stuck with it, kept playing shortstop. But with like balancing defense and offense, I think like during practice we like split up the two completely. So it's like we have completely focused on offensive work and then completely focused on defensive work, and I think it's just when we're on defense, just like completely like blocking out the hitting, like whether it's good or bad, like defense is a different game, and just having a different mindset when I'm out there, and just like playing for the pitchers and the rest of the team. Like I don't get like that many balls in a game, but it's like when I do, I want to be able to make the play for my teammates. Describe the relationship and the connection between you and Cam Abar at second base. Yeah, so last year I came in and Cam was way older than me, but I think she really helped me like get comfortable playing second and just like, not second, playing short, and like having her at second, like we have a really good connection on and off the field, so I think that makes it a lot easier to play with her, and just being like having that connection just makes it like easier and just like easier to work out there. Yeah, what's that like? You guys led the nation last year, or were one of the best in the country at turning double plays. I know defense is a big emphasis for this team. So when you're playing shortstop and then you got someone like Cam at second base that you are so close with and you have that connection, what's that like playing with someone like that where you just have a feel, like a sixth sense, right? Yeah, it's more like I just trust her so much on the field. Like if there's a runner on first, I'm like, hit us a ground ball. Like we got it. Like we work so well together, and just having her over there, it just puts all the trust and confidence in like me and her working together. All right, and what has it been like playing with your sister, Brooke? Yeah, well, me and Brooke have played together for as long as I can remember. So I think being able to come to college and like continue our careers together is just special, and having her like on the field with me is just like, I wouldn't think of it any different. Like I wouldn't want her to be somewhere else or me to be somewhere else. Like I think playing with her is the best situation I could ask for. You know, when we talked to Coach Farrell before the season, obviously you, Cam, and the infield was pretty locked up, but she had talked about Brooke being able to play basically every position on the field. What is she like as an athlete? I mean, she's got to be pretty good anywhere she goes to be able to just, you can plug her in wherever, right? Yeah, so she's ever since we were younger, just like growing up, she's been playing like different positions, like infield and outfield, and I think that puts just a lot of like trust in her to the coaches. Like if you need her, like she'll be there and she's ready
to switch positions if you need her to, and she'll be ready to play and just go out there.
You mentioned wanting to play in college together. Was that a conversation you guys had all along?
No, I think like once we started getting like the college like recruit like recognition, like I had come here and I was like, oh yeah, like I want to go to Nebraska, but like it hadn't like worked out for her yet. But then like when it did, we were just like, oh, like let's both go to Nebraska. So it kind of just like fell into place.
Did you grow up a Husker fan?
Yes.
Yeah?
My parents are big Husker fans. My whole family. We've been coming to the Husker softball games ever since we were little. So.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
Oh, I don't know. I did like Kiki Stokes.
Yeah? That's cool. Yeah. Speaking of Kiki, I mean, you got another former Husker that you're going to be playing this weekend. How cool is that to see, the softball is such a close-knit community, and to see, the former Huskers that are going on being head coaches. How cool is that?
I think it's just super cool, like the opportunities that coming to a school like Nebraska can give like us athletes, and just seeing like them go out and like starting their own careers like outside of Nebraska, like starting their own programs and just working with that is super cool.
So when you grew up a fan, and since I've been here, a lot of the kids that are from Nebraska have talked about it just means a little bit different, it's a little bit special. You guys have quite a few Nebraska players on your team. What does that do when you grew up understanding what the culture is like here and how special it is to wear that uniform? How big is that for a team to have so many Nebraska kids?
I think it just puts more of like how much we love this state and this school, and like how much we want to like win and like represent. I think that like pulls into our team culture, and like how well, like, and all these girls from Nebraska, like we've all like grown up together, like we all pretty much played for the same like club travel organization. So I think like growing up together and just like knowing like what we learned when we were growing up, and like what we knew about the whole university and our like fan base here in Nebraska, I think just playing for that and like playing like we want to represent this state is just, I think it's kind of an honor, like being from Nebraska.
It's
and
amazing.
For this university.
Okay, so you guys play a lot of games on the road to start the season, right? Does that become a little bit of a grind? How do you manage that?
Yeah, so my school schedule this semester, I don't have class on Fridays, so it's been a little bit easier for me. But just when we're on the road, you kind of have to still think about school. Like, it's not just about softball, and just being able to time manage, like doing your homework on the road so you don't get behind, or like working ahead so you don't have as much to do on the road, and just knowing that like school is just as important as softball, and you have to put in the time for both.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are going on a Cali road swing for a couple weeks. You're staying on the road. Mentioned you're going to play MJ Knighton's team next weekend, right? What are you guys looking to accomplish on this road trip?
I think just playing our game and just keep like grinding out games and like doing our best to win, and just having our solid the offense that we've been having, trying to just keep playing with that and just keep working and growing as a team, and just pull some wins out and like play against these teams that we haven't really played that much, and just competing.
So, I mean, and you're playing a bunch of different teams, and then you'll come back and you have a couple games against Kansas, but then it's time for Big Ten play. Yeah. How ready do you feel like this team is going to be to get into conference play?
I think we are growing every weekend, and I think these past couple of weekends we've grown a lot offensively, and I think just like looking at what we've produced in the past couple of weekends, I think we'll be ready for Big Tens, because we've seen a whole bunch of different teams and a whole bunch of different pitchers, and we've been able to handle almost all of them in our games. So I think Big Tens, I think we'll be prepared for that with these next weeks coming up.
Defense or hitting? In the field, at the plate, which one do you like better?
Oh, I don't know. Hitting when I'm doing good.
There you go. Love that answer. Billy Andrews, appreciate your time. Best of luck as you guys hit the road for our California road swing, and we can't wait to see you guys back here in Lincoln soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Back with more Sports Nightly after this.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
The bolder, the better. The 2022 Hyundai Sonata is reimagined with tech and safety features you want. With inspiring innovation and a bold new exterior, this is a sedan designed to be seen. Confidence comes standard when you shop Hyundai. You'll benefit from Hyundai Owner Assurance with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Visit Woodhouse Hyundai off 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhousehyundai.com during the Hyundai Getaway Sales event.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with the new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
Winquist comes set, the pitch, there goes the runner, ground ball right side, base hit right field. Sartori's going to score. It's a 7-2 Husker lead, and Nebraska has blown this open here in the ninth inning.
Huskers baseball is hitting the road this Sunday as they travel up I-80 to take on the Omaha Mavericks. Pre-game coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Central with first pitch at 3. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Michigan State just held off Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. They had a big lead, ended up winning by 4, so they have one more game to be played in Indianapolis today. The quarterfinals are then tomorrow. The bubble team in the Big Ten is probably both Michigan and Indiana came back to win today, so they may have helped themselves out a little bit. The Husker women will learn Sunday night what their fate is going to be, and they're going to be a big party at PBA.
Absolutely. I mean, the numbers have come out that, once again, Nebraska fans have showed up, and they're one of the top attended, top 20, top 15 attended, women's basketball programs in the nation, and so, yeah, they're in. There's no doubt about it. Just don't know where they're going to go and what the seating is. And it's always fun. And this is the first time that it's on Sunday night. And the 68 teams. And so, and they're actually calling it March Madness. So fun time for women's basketball. And this team is really, really special. And, have the potential, if they put some things together, to go on a really special run here in March. And, I think that was the thing when we were having conversations. Were so appreciative about the fans and how they showed up, and at the end of the season how loud they were, and they protected the home court. I mean, just one loss. I think they ended up, was it 16-1 or 15-1 at home, and that's so huge, and that's a big part of why they're able to go to the NCAA tournament. So they wanted to open that up for fans, and there's going to be a program, and then you're going to get to watch and get the reaction with them, and it's going to be a special night. So be there, Husker Nation. They appreciate it, and let's send them off in style.
Doors open at PBA at 6 Sunday night. There'll be a program, as Jessica mentioned, at 6:30. Then the show actually begins on ESPN at 7 o'clock to reveal the bracket for the 68 team. First year for the women that it's a 68 team bracket. It's been 64. The men had gone to the first 4 of that 68 field probably 10 years ago. The women are adding 4 more teams to the bracket this year. So that should be fun. It's free. It's open to the public. And it should be a blast to be out there to celebrate. And it's always so fun on the bracket reveal to see who you're playing, where you're playing.
Oh, yeah, because you can kind of maybe, have a little bit of an idea, but really you just don't know until you see your name. And for a lot of these players, it's the first time that they're seeing it, and the first time they're seeing it together. And this team, man, I'm working on a couple different pieces. That Bella Cravens, for example, comes from Hawaii. She transfers in and never really loved basketball. She was good at it and knew that it was going to provide some opportunities for her to get her school paid for, to get education and meet people and advance a career. But she told me, and this was an unbelievable quote, that she didn't know that she was capable of loving basketball until she came here and was a part of this team. And I just think it's it's just such a fitting story of how this team is. It really is special. I've never been around a team like this, so they're going to get to experience this together for the first time. It's a neat deal. It's what you play for, to hear your name called on Selection Sunday, to get yourself into the NCAA tournament and have a chance to play for a national title. So it's going to be a fun event, but if you are out of state or can't make it in, we will have a live stream for you right here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have it on Huskers.com, on Facebook, on Twitter. So we've got you covered. If you can't be there at PBA, you can watch it online.
Again, it's the NCAA Tournament Selection Show presented by Woodhouse Auto. PBA, doors open at 6. If you can come in person, 6:30 for the program. And again, a live stream will be provided. And then the ESPN show at 7 to find out where the Huskers are headed. That tournament will begin next Friday. Some regional sites will go Friday, Sunday. The others will go Saturday, Monday. So for your planning purposes, the Huskers could play Friday. They could play Saturday, but they'll play one of those 2 days next week. That'll be fun for that to happen. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Plenty of time for you to jump on board. We need to slip in our last break. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Paul Hoos or Joni Rodabaugh in Grand Island, or an Ord Sea agent Matt Woodward.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night, final segment of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our phone lines, text lines open for you at 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Let's kind of bring it back to where we started, and that's men's basketball. The season ended last night. The loss to Northwestern, where they had the big lead at the half, still had a pretty big lead with about 15 minutes to go, but couldn't finish it off. Best case scenario, which guys would you like to see back to take advantage of coming back for another year playing here for the Huskers?
I would really like to see, ideally Trey and Bryce, right?
Right, both of them.
I don't know if that's possible, but I do think Trey would be really important to helping, being a leader. He was a heart and soul, and he had such goals to win the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and we've seen him just how good he is on the defensive end, and sometimes it takes a while for teams to buy into that, and he sets a tone with that. So I think he would be really, really beneficial to come back for the team, to have that defensive mindset guy, but a leader. But he also helped, set the tone going into this season, but unfortunately, got hurt. But what this team was able to find in the last 3 games of the season, Trey will be able to carry that over and hopefully implement that. So Trey, we forget about Wilhelm Breidenbach is going to be a huge piece for this team moving forward. And so I would say Trey would be number 1 for me, because I don't know if Bryce is an option. So Bryce and Derek, absolutely. Trey and Derek would be would be big for me. Yep.
You know, one guy that really I got excited about as the season went along with CJ. I really thought Wilcher played great basketball. I think his game continued to grow, and I think that he can be kind of a cornerstone piece for this program moving forward. And some of those games, he was maybe the key cog because everybody was focusing on Garden Bryce. You had to have somebody else step up and make shots. CJ did that. I love the growth that we saw out of him throughout the year.
Yeah, just a freshman on the roster, so he could still have lots of years left. And he played a little bit at Xavier, but I think he's still he just is. I think going to continue to grow and get better. And anytime you got a guy that can shoot as efficiently as he does, that's a nightmare for teams. You cannot. I've talked about it on the show before about how when CJ's knocking down shots, how that opens up the lane for Alonzo Verge to go make things happen. So it just does so much when you got a guy that can knock down shots like that. And so, as you mentioned, there were times that he was the only one shooting the ball well. So that's a really good piece move coming back. I thought you meant more like who's probably
no. I did.
Okay.
I just expanded it, took it out because
you
mentioned
that's a great piece. Yeah.
You mentioned Wilhelm, and I kind of see CJ and Wilhelm as kind of the two young guys in the program that I think can really be strong contributors for a team. And if Derek comes back and you have Eduardo Andre back, and to remind everybody, Nebraska signed Blaze Keita, the big center from Coffeyville, the nation's #1 junior college player. He's 6'10", 235. All of a sudden, with Eduardo, Derek, Blaze, and Wilhelm,
it's good.
That's a
good
group that can
yep.
Group can bang and battle in the Big Ten day in and day out. To refresh everybody's memory, Denham Dawson is already here. He came in mid-season. He's a guy from Ontario, California. He's here. He's been working out. He's been learning the system. Fred said the other night, we're really happy with what we've seen from Denham. He's 6'6", so he's a bigger-bodied guy. I'm not saying he's Bryce McGowan's, but he kind of fills that void of losing that kind of 6'6" body. Ramil Lloyd is another 6'6" player who signed with Nebraska in November. His dad was a great college basketball player. He's having a terrific senior year in the prep ranks in California, so excited about him. And then Jamarcus Lawrence is a 6'4" guard from New Jersey who signed with Nebraska. So they signed 4. One's already here in Denham Dawson, but the other 3 will be here sometime this summer to mix back in with the Wilhelms and the CJs and whoever decides to come back.
Yeah, I think to me the big key is who's going to be point guard, who's going to run the point. And I know last year when Delano Banton decided to go to the draft, and that was someone that they were kind of thinking might come back, and then a little bit timing issues. But now that you know that Verge is done, and maybe you can really address that in the transfer portal from the start of right now at the end of the season. So that's going to be the big key, is who's going to come in and run the show, because as Verge settled into that, he got to be where he was really good at it, but it just took him a little while to settle into that role.
It's a huge piece, and maybe you go transfer portal to find that. Maybe that's what you end up have to go do.
Because it's so hard to ask a freshman to come in and do that,
It can happen, but it's a little rare to see that happen. Glenn Watson did it for the Huskers when he was a freshman, but it's rare to hand the keys to the car to that freshman point guard. Kind of like a quarterback. It's kind of hard to hand it to a freshman.
Well, and you need to win now. You need to get somebody in here that can help you start to change the tide now. You can't get a developmental guy. You got to get someone that can come in and immediately take the reins and be a leader, not just be a point guard, but be a leader. So yeah, it's a really important role.
All right, tomorrow night here on the program, Logan Smothers. You had a chance to talk to him, kind of the forgotten man in the quarterback room for the Huskers, but certainly a guy that started the final game of the year against Iowa. We'll hear from Logan. Megan Kahn, you caught up with last week in Indianapolis. Tell us about her.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to chat with her, let you guys hear that conversation, because as I talked about earlier, just the move to March Madness, the push for equality and for women's basketball compared to the men's. She's a big voice for the Big Ten Conference, so you're going to be able to hear all of that and the plans she has in place.
Very good. That, and I'm going to hit baseball tomorrow. We'll have somebody from the Husker baseball team as they're going to get ready to launch into a bunch of home games coming up here in the next week or so. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Andrew, to Jessica, and all of you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your night. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home, at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.